Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. This week on the Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're spotlighting the kind of strength that can't be measured by reps alone. I'm talking about raising strength, how 12-year-old weightlifting phenom Rory van Ulft and her mom, Lindsay, are building history one lift at a time. It's the mother-daughter power duo redefining what girls can do in sports and in life. At just 12 years old, Rory van Ulft has become one of the strongest youth weightlifters in the world, male or female. She's smashed records, redefined what it means to be a girl in sports, and done it all with boldness, style, and grace. But behind this powerhouse is a mom who's helped guide, protect, and champion Rory's dream every step of the way. We're talking about mental strength, physical discipline, and the beautiful chaos that comes with raising a future Olympian. Please welcome Rory van Ulft and her amazing mom, Lindsay. Welcome, superstars.
Thanks for having us. It's so great to be here.
Hi, Rory. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
So excited. I'm going to lead right in. So, Rory, most kids your age are trying to decide between soccer practice and piano lessons. You, on the other hand, are lifting more than double your body weight and heading towards the Olympics. When did you know that this was what you wanted to do? And what is it about lifting that made you fall in love with it?
Well, I started so young. I don't really remember when I started. I just remember always doing it. So what really made me love it was during the pandemic when gymnastics stopped, but weightlifting kept going. And when I went back to gymnastics, I realized the benefit of weightlifting because I still had my strength up, I could do all my skills, and I was progressing faster than I was before.
That's amazing. The clarity you have at such a young age is very rare, and it shows in every single lift you do. Now, Mom, it's not every day that your child turns out to be an elite level athlete by age 12. Supporting that kind of dream takes commitment, but also emotional strength and balance. When did you first realize Rory was exceptional, not just strong for her age, but truly gifted? And how did that change your role as a parent?
I am not a weightlifter. My husband is not a weightlifter. We had no idea what we were doing and what we were taking her into. But after a few trips to the gym, we noticed that people were stopping to watch. And then after a few more trips, we noticed that people were getting at their cameras and recording and then posting about how amazing she was. And I still I had an idea that she was pretty good, but I didn't know anything about it. So it wasn't really until after she'd been at it for probably a year or so that I realized how absolutely special she was as a weightlifter. Her coach also says that she has a unique ability for a kid her age to actually listen. I've always known she was special, but I don't really think it's changed how I parent her necessarily. I've always sort of had the parenting philosophy that it's my job to support her and protect her and keep her safe and give her everything that I can so that she can achieve whatever she wants to achieve. The one thing I do take very seriously, though, as the mom of an elite athlete, is reminding her that she is still a kid.
Right.
I spend a lot of time making sure that even though she's got 1,000 things to do, reminding her that she still needs to have fun. She still needs to go out and play and make mistakes and do all the things that kids need to do as they sort of grow up. And that's my job as mom in the raising of Rory the weightlifter.
Yeah, it's a powerful reflection. And truly looking back, I think so many parents can relate to that moment of realizing, hey, your child is wired for something extraordinary, right? Now, Rory, what I love most is that you're not just lifting, you're leading. You're showing girls everywhere that strength comes in all forms. How do you feel being a role model for other girls your age? And what would you say to someone who thinks they're too small or too young to be strong?
When I go to competitions and I see how many more people there are there than there were 5 years ago, and then people come up to me and say that I influenced them to start weightlifting, I'm just glad that I could use weightlifting to bring us all together. And for anybody that thinks they're too small or too young, there's no such thing. Anything that you want to do, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve it.
That's gold. You're showing us that strength is way more than muscles. It's courage, it's focus, and showing up for yourself every single day. Now, Lindsay, balancing childhood with competitive sports, you mentioned a little bit earlier, is something you have to remind her, but it's no easy task. And I imagine there are moments where being mom and being, coach support can collide, right? How do you maintain normalcy in Rory's life, school friends, downtime, but also support her training at such a high level?
Well, it's really, really hard. And I'm not sure I've got it down yet. But I think one of the things that we've really been focusing on is the village and community that we have around us to help Rory be a kid and a weightlifter. Her coach does whatever he can to make sure she's having fun at the gym. Her teachers help us with homework and give her sort of special assignments when she's not there. She does a lot of homework in the car. But we also make the time for going to the movies and hanging out with friends and having Sunday night dinners with her family, because it's really important that she doesn't miss any of those things as well. Plus, I don't want her to miss having hobbies and having abilities, because at some point, someday, she's going to maybe finish weightlifting and finish gymnastics. So we focus on things like learning how to ski and learning how to skate, because we live in the north where there's a lot of those things. And so I don't want to miss out on all of those days and the time that she has to learn how to enjoy all of the things that life has to offer. So it requires a lot of planning. Rory has a little brother who's also in competitive sports. So what we've tried to do is to split things so that I'm the mom and I'm the one who's doing the supporting and the driving and the reminding her to be a kid. And her dad is the weightlifting coach. He's the one who takes her to the gym and who makes her shakes and all of those things. And that really works for us.
I love that. It sounds like you're raising not just an athlete, but a well-rounded, happy human being. And that's really everything, the most important part. Now, Rory, you've won titles across 3 countries. You've set records that even some adults can't touch. And your sense of style, well, pretty iconic, my dear. Where does your confidence come from, both in the gym and in your everyday life? And do you have any routines or rituals that help you stay focused and so bold?
Well, just like any other athlete in any other sport, I think my confidence comes from practice, put in and day out. If I know that I put in the work to be there, I know that I can succeed. And I think in daily life, it translates because you learn that all you have to do is push your limits and you can do anything that you want to do.
Confidence looks really good on you, Rory, and I love that you've made it part of your signature, both on and off the platform. Now, Mom, watching Rory lift must be a rush, but I imagine there are also nerves, fears, and moments that test your emotional endurance as a parent. What's been your proudest moment so far, and maybe even one of the hardest moments to watch as her mom?
I mean, it's really, really nerve-wracking, as any parent would say, watching your kid go up and do a competitive sport, the least of which is one like weightlifting, where it's just her standing on that platform by herself. It's really scary, and it doesn't get any easier. But I will say my proudest moment is probably also the hardest, which is in December 2023, Rory broke some world records. And she worked really, really hard to get to that point. And what she did was amazing and incredible. But because of the way that the sport is set up, those world records aren't recognized because she's not 13. And so we go to a lot of competitions. We go to a lot of things where Rory blows people out of the water. But she doesn't get any medals. She doesn't get any trophies. She doesn't get any of that recognition, except for sort of what we can get and what we can give her. In fact, as a family, we've actually started ending competitions by going to Disney parks in either Disney World in Florida or Disneyland, because that's what she can have instead of a medal for breaking some world records. So it's required a little bit of creativity, but I think it's working for us.
Thank you for that honest and beautiful answer. I mean, your pride does shine through every word, and it's clear that this is a shared journey of love and resilience for both you and Rory. Now, Rory, a recent stat from the American College of Sports Medicine says hydration can influence up to 25% of physical performance, especially in young athletes. How do you stay hydrated before and after training? Are there any fun or favorite drinks you always reach for?
Strength to body weight ratio is crucial for success. So, as well as drinking a lot of water, I focus on having enough protein every day. So, I have a balanced diet with lots of lean meats. And every day I have a beef protein shake with bone broth and beef collagen.
Wow.
Which smells disgusting.
We're going to definitely have to get you stocked up with some Once Upon a Coconut to keep those electrolytes exactly where they should be. Now, Lindsay, as she sets her sights on the 2028 Olympics, there's no doubt she's going to continue to inspire girls and parents around the world. What advice would you give to other parents whose kids are chasing big dreams, whether in sports or beyond?
It's really easy to say, oh, I would do this and I would do this. But really, the way that we're so successful is Rory calls the shots. I am here to remove obstacles, to support her with anything that she needs, and cheer her on from the sidelines. I am always the loudest person on the sidelines of any competition. And someday, probably pretty soon, she's going to get embarrassed by how loud I am in those competitions. But I think that that's really, as parents, the best that you can do for your kids. If they want to make it to the Olympics, they have to get there because they want to get there. And you just can do whatever that you can do to help them achieve that dream. So that's what I would tell every parent. Listen to your kid and do what they think is best for them and just help them in any way you can.
Rory, how does it feel you're going to be at the Olympics when you close your eyes and see yourself up there? What are you feeling?
I try not to think about that because what if it doesn't happen and I'm just so excited for it and then I don't go to the Olympics? Then I'd just be disappointed. So I just try to think of the next day and the next practice I'm going to do and the next lifts I'm going to do instead of thinking that far ahead.
So this right here, though, this is why I am so proud of this kid. I feel like she has a maturity that not everybody has necessarily. And the fact that she thinks like that, I think is going to really serve her well.
It is. It's going to serve her very well. And what I will say is there's power in manifestation. And I'm going to say that, Rory, you're headed to the Olympics, whether you're going to think of it or not. I'm telling you, you'll be there. And that's the unique power that you have to show up consistently every single day, not for social media, not for your mom, not for anyone but yourself. And you continue to do that. And your attitude and your level of maturity, to your mom's point, is truly shines through. And that's what's going to get you there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, this has been officially such an incredible interview. I learned so much from both of you. And more importantly, I know that my listeners and our audience can't wait to watch you.
Thank you very much. And thanks for giving us the opportunity to chat about this. It means a lot.
For everyone listening, you definitely want to follow Rory's incredible journey on Instagram at Rory van Ulft and keep watching as she lifts her way straight into the record books and into our hearts. Make sure that you are rooting for her for those 2028 Olympics. This has been the Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, because every champion hydrates with purpose. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut.
Discover the refreshing taste of 100% pure coconut water that actually tastes great. Naturally sweet with no artificial flavors or added sugar. It's packed with electrolytes to keep you hydrated throughout your day. And with 10% of profits going to charity, every sip makes a difference. Pure taste, pure goodness. Experience nature's Gatorade. Visit Once Upon a Coconut or naturesgatorade.com.